Hi guys, it's Steve Currington at Cross Country Mortgage, and I wanted to talk today about an ARM versus a fixed, okay? Because as we're seeing rates kind of start to jump up, people are thinking, maybe I'm only gonna be in my house for 1 or 2 years, maybe I should do an ARM. I just talked to a customer this morning that was considering an ARM, and I'll tell you what I told him. It really depends on the gap between what you can get fixed versus what you can get on an adjustable rate, okay? Furthermore, if you plan on living in a house for a year or maybe 2 years, does the rate really matter? I mean, it does to a certain extent, but are we really gonna worry about if you're gonna sell the house in a year? You're really only getting that rate for a year, okay? So that you have to consider that, is that you're really only gonna be in that loan for 1 year, so the rate really doesn't have that big of an impact. If you stayed in it for 30, then it certainly would. But when I'm looking at an ARM versus a fixed, I'm looking at, well, how long am I gonna live in the house? Okay, well, I'm gonna be in the house for 5 years. Okay, well, then we probably wanna get an ARM product that is good for 5 years, where you get some kind of fixed rate for 5 years, right? I'm only gonna live in there for a year. Okay, well, that's something to consider too, but as I told this gentleman this morning, the 30-year fixed rate versus what the adjustable rate is, there wasn't a big enough gap. So it just didn't make a big enough difference in the payment to take the risk of, what if something changes? What if I do plan on selling the house in a year, but I don't? What if I do plan on moving in 2 years and I don't? And then that ARM gets to the point where it's no longer fixed, and then your rate jumps up, and it can put you in a sticky situation. So if your interest rate that you can get today was 7% and the ARM rate was at 5%, that's worth considering. But if it's a half a point or a quarter of a point and your loan amount's fairly smaller, then it's probably not worth it. But listen, you want to talk to a pro about this. If you want to talk to a pro, I'm your guy, that's what I do. Reach out to me at 918-281-5475. I promise to answer your call. You can also visit stevecurrington.com if you want to apply.